what we're going to do is a parallax header, a header that appears, a menu that appears upon scrolling down throughout the website. So number one, what do we need to do? So here are the steps to build our parallax header. Number one, shape fit to width. So this I would like to take off. Okay, I would like to unpin it. Okay, so this is just a simple shape fit to width, and the menu also is a simple menu that I created. All good up until now? Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on my header, on my shape fit to width, and I'm going to click on add parallax animation. Now be very, very, very attentive to what I'm going to tell you. When you click on parallax animation, add parallax animation beta, two things will be popping out of the element itself. Number one is a black line. Number two is a blue shape fit to width, also the same shape but in blue. This is the motion path, meaning that where are you leading the element, the shape fit to width. If I go on preview right now, remember the black line is my starting line. Okay, if I scroll down, it scrolls with me like that. Okay, now what I want to do, because the black lines, okay, so number one, the black line is my starting point. When the top of my website will reach to the black line, my parallax animation will start. Cool. Now my blue element, my motion path, let's call it the motion path, is the motion that I'm setting it up, okay, to where I want it and to do basically what I want it to do. So number one, what I want to do in terms of a header is that I want my starting line to be when the top of my website reaches the top of my shape fit to width. My motion path will stay at the same place at my shape fit to width location, which is here on my design panel. I'm going to see Y 110. If I go right now on my properties panel, and something that kind of cool to show, this is why I like being precise, is that on my properties panel, I'm going to have something called Parallax Scrolling Animation tab, and under the tab, I'm going to have my parallax properties. Okay, now what I'm going to do is my target doesn't have a target, doesn't have an X because my X is 100%, but my Y will be 110. So I know that right away my motion is at the same place as my element. Okay, and this is where we're going to customize a few things. Okay, I'm just going to put this on the side. The speed of the parallax animation. So when we scroll down, okay, let's say I'm scrolling down right now, the top of my website reaches that black line. What happens? So I want the speed to be very fast. I want it to be completely pinned very fast. I don't want it to go right now. As you can see, it's 1.5 pixels per scroll. I want to change it to something much faster. I generally go around 80. 80 is fine. Okay? So 80 pixels per scroll. When every pixel that I scroll, it goes by 80 pixels. Okay. So here I can also add effects. What effect am I going to put? Number one, I don't want the header to appear when I'm loading the page. I want the header to disappear, and when I get to my starting point, I want it to appear. So this is number one that I want to do. Then I want it to be pinned to the top of my website. So number one, you always go in order. What do you want it to do? Number one, you want it to fade to 100%. That's number one, fade to. You can add another effect. The effect that we want for it to be pinned is the delay after. Okay, what is the delay after? So let me explain to you what the delay after is. Okay, the delay after is simply means, if let's say I get to the top of my shape, okay, that means that my parallax animation starts. Okay, and when it starts, it's going to delay, it's going to stick after 100 pixels, and then it's going to leave. Okay, this is the delay after. Now, what we want to do is that we want it to delay after the maximum amount of pixels. Now, the maximum amount of pixels here is, let's say, 6,885. Okay, so my delay after will be either 6,886 or higher. That's basically it. That's how it works. If I go now and publish it, sorry, I don't see my header. I don't see my shape fit to width. And slowly, I'm going to scroll down, and you're going to see that it's going to appear. That's it, it appears. But when I go scroll back up, it disappears. And this is exactly how the parallax animation and parallax headers work. Now, what happens if I want to play around with my menu? If I want my menu to do exactly the same thing, meaning that at the beginning there's no menu. But when I scroll, when my starting line starts, it's going to scroll with my shape fit to width. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on the menu, and already I'm going to do add parallax animation. I'm going to put it to the complete center. Now, something to point out, we want everything to start at the same starting line, at the same time. So if my shape starts here, where the black line is, I want the black line for my menu to start exactly at the same position. That's why I put a guide, and then my black line will be at the same exact position as my shape. Okay, now we know that x equal 96, so my target here, which is on my right, is going to be 96. And then my y is 128, so my y is 128. That's it. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Speed, 80 pixels per scroll. We're going to add two effects. One effect is the fade to. Second effect is the delay after, and the delay after will be, let's say, 7,000. We don't care as long as it's more than 6,886 like we did before, which is the length of my whole website. Now we're going to publish, and let's see what it gives. Let's see the result all together. There you go. My menu appears, as you can all see. Okay, so let's review very quickly. So again, to make the parallax header, you need to shape fit to width. You need to set the black line at the top of the shape like we did before. The motion dotted shape, which is kind of my motion path. Okay, the target will be at the same position as my shape fit to width. Okay, my speed, we're going to make it pretty fast, so 80 pixels per scroll. My first effect will be fade to 100%, and my second effect will be delay after 5,000 pixels or more, depending on the length of my website. So again, just to explain the effect one, which is fade to 100%, this is the first thing that we need to do. We want it to fade to 100% very fast. We don't need it to be very slow. We want it to fade very fast. So we want it to fade to 100%, and the delay after, we want it to delay after X amount of pixels, depending on the length of my website. So this is for the shape. Now for the menu, you do exactly the same thing. So we're going to call it Parallax Animation on the menu. Parallax Animation menu, PAM. So the black line is going to be the same exact line as the black line as the shape. Okay, so both of them will start at the same time. So the black line of the shape will be exactly at the same time as the black line of the menu. Okay, the parallax animation of the menu, the target of the parallax animation of the menu is going to be the same as the menu position, and same thing goes for effect 1 and effect 2.